Hi guys, this is Rusty78609, the famous owner of Arrow. Or do you own Arrow? No. Our Arrow is my friend. You don't own friends. So having said that, guys, this is Thursday, March the 8th, 2018 at about 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Temperature is 55. Well, I guess you better go top up degrees today because it's a little cool. Looks slightly overcast, about 50-50. And we're going to go take a little drive this morning. A couple of things I want to touch on that I've learned since it's been a while since I pulled a travel trailer. Even though this is a 16-footer, easy to pull and all that kind of stuff, which I'm very pleased with. My gasoline mileage was 14.5 miles per gallon, which is excellent, which I'm not complaining about. But be that as it may, one of the things that surprised me was, of course, I'd been dry camping, but before I went over to Georgetown. But before I left, I was hooked up to my septic system at home. I can still use that even though I'm dry camping. But I didn't, I had my gray water tank valve open, so everything was draining out. But in 2 days, I noticed whenever I dumped my tanks at the Corps of Engineers Park at the dump station, that when I dumped the gray water, even though I said fresh water by mistake, gray water, the tank appeared to have been almost full. So that made a little point with me that when I'm out on the road, I'm going to have to be a little more frugal with how much water I put in there, because going to dump stations is not convenient. Even though I've asked them at BLM before, if you can dump fresh water out or gray water on the ground. They said, well, as long as you haven't added any toxic chemicals to it. And I thought, well, okay, I'll go with that. So we'll see. But that did surprise me that gray water tank was that full. That was one. And then number two, the issue, well, not an issue, but water is not a problem. It's how you handle it, you know what I mean, how you use it. In other words, I've got a 5-gallon container, but whenever it's full, it weighs 40 pounds. So, it's not easy to handle that thing. Even, you can set it like I had it set by the sink to, to kind of wash your hands and stuff. And that worked okay for a few days, and then that little handle broke. The little knob that turned the valve to open it came off. And then I got on the internet to check and see if you can order just that valve, and yeah, you can. It's $19.99. Well, you can buy a new 5-gallon tank for that. So you can turn it with a pair of pliers. The little knob, you can turn it with a pair of pliers. So I was looking at my options, and then it occurred to me that why don't I just use gallon containers totally and forget the 5-gallon jug? You got me? What is the advantage of having the 5-gallon container other than it will hold 5 gallons of water? You got me? The goal is to have drinking water, because that's all I use the gallon water for, is drinking water. And if I have to, of course, I would put a gallon or two in the fresh water tank on the RV if I needed to for some reason. But what I was going to do is use the filtered water for drinking water, and only pretty much, and then use the water that's available at the campgrounds wherever I'm going, when there is water available, to put water into my holding tank. In other words, if I go to a BLM that has a central spigot somewhere, then I'll just lug a few gallons back and forth till I get, say, 8 or 10 gallons in my fresh water tank, and then that'll be good for a few days, and on it goes. So anyway, just some thoughts. I'm just thinking out loud here about some of the things I've run into that are interesting. And, and then as far as, groceries and so forth, I don't see any issue with that. And, keeping the stuff that needs to be kept cool in the Dometic refrigerator, I don't see any problem with that because I've been doing it. So far, the solar is doing great, or it's, the batteries are full. Can't complain about that. And also something else that occurred to me, I had my mail forwarded, but I also have that notification set up, where the Postal Service will actually send you an email if you have mail coming. And it'll show a picture of what the envelope looks like. It just takes a picture of the outside of the envelope, and you get to see that. And that's very handy because then if there's anything important that you might need to have forwarded as you're out on the road. And so I got a notification this morning that I had some mail due, and it was from a credit union that I have the RV finance with, which I know is nothing. They're trying to buy some term life insurance, which I'm not going to do. But yeah, that helps. But what I want to be sure of is that my mail is being forwarded. So anyway, I got the notification today, and it should be forwarded today. And if it is, then it should be in my Kingsland mailbox by Saturday, I hope, to let me know for sure that my little system is working. And then that takes care of the mail issue altogether, because I can monitor what's going to the Kingsland mailbox with using the USPS system. So that's good. Now, as far as what comes to the Kingsland P.O. box from you guys, I won't know that. So, but I'll get it, when I get back or whenever I have it forwarded. But we'll see about that. So anyway, those are just small issues that, whenever you're going to take an extended trip or be on the road, I guess I should say. I'm not, it's like I'm on a trip all the time, because I live in a 16-foot travel trailer. It's like I'm always camping. And, when I was in Georgetown, the only way that I knew that I was anywhere else was when I went outside, because the inside of the RV is the same, you know what I mean? It's home, and everything's there, and that's what I really like too. You know where everything is. If you're looking for the scissors, you know where they are. Your toothbrush, a screwdriver, stuff that, whenever I was in the Prius camping for 5 years off and on, and are in the pickup with the camper top on the back, if I needed those things or similar items, they were there. It's just a matter of finding them. And this makes it a whole lot more predictable, and that's what makes life good or enjoyable, because we love predictability. We definitely love predictability. We don't like change. I noticed I got a few thumbs down when I changed the name of the RV from Puff to Arrow. Well, that's because change. I made a change, and some people don't like change, And I understand that. Different strokes for different folks. But it's me and my Arrow from now on, guys. And we're going to go out on the road, and I sat there yesterday thinking about turning the clock forward, because I like to play games in my mind where I kind of turn the clock forward, even though you can't see into the future. There's no way. And there's so many unpredictable things that happen in life that you certainly couldn't plan for, but you can have a framework of what is going to happen, assuming none of these other negative things occur, such as health problems, etc. But assuming they don't occur, just everything stays on track, your health stays pretty good, blah, 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 then I look at that future, and what I see for me is eventually, I will be living without traveling at my home base there in Central Texas. And, right now my deck, that I have, the wooden deck, is really in poor repair. Several boards need to be replaced. The steps that homemade stuff I came up with, it works. But so what I'm going to do when I get back from this period of traveling, whenever that might be, then I'm going to go ahead and follow through with having this group that lives near me put a concrete pad the entire length and width of the RV cover, which is 18 by 26, and then add me a little concrete pad for a patio that'll be, say, 10 by 10. I think that'll be adequate. Maybe 12 by 12. Might go to 12 by 12. Where I can put my patio table out there with my umbrella and stuff, and pretty days I can sit outside. But there will be no steps, and that's one of the things I want to eliminate, because what happens as you get older is your balance is not what it was when you were younger, and it's perfectly natural. It's not like you've got some kind of disease or anything. It just happens, and that's why you see a lot of elderly people with walkers and canes and all that stuff. It's because the inner ear, the little bones or whatever that are in there, those things are worn out, and so you lose your balance easy, and that's what caused people to fall and break their hip. They're not sure if the fall broke the hip or the hip broke and then they failed. It doesn't matter to me. The hip still broke. So anyway, I'm going to eliminate the steps. I'll do that when I get back from this trip, and then I'll continue to do RVing as long as I can. And as long as I'm enjoying it, as long as I'm enjoying this, which right now is the greatest thing since fried chicken. I wouldn't change this lifestyle for the world, and I certainly don't look forward to it changing, but I'm going to be realistic, because I don't want to endanger my life, and certainly somebody else's, because I'm just too hard-headed to admit that I shouldn't be doing the things I'm doing. But anyway, I'll work on all those things. I'm just rambling on here talking, guys. I hope y'all are enjoying the view and it's not too bright or whatever. And gasoline here in Granite Shoals, Texas is $2.35 today for regular unleaded, $2.79 for diesel. Diesels get better gas mileage or fuel mileage, but you pay a premium for the fuel. I guess you come out okay. I don't know. I don't want a diesel. They're too noisy and stinky. But anyway, so life is good. The plan is good. I'm still thinking about maybe pulling out Monday. I've looked at the weather. It's going to be a little cold. Hell, I remember, and I think I said this in another video, I got caught in a damn snowstorm in Crestone, Colorado in May. But of course, I'm not going to be in Crestone, Colorado, so that makes a big difference. I'll be in southern New Mexico, which is okay, I hope. And, again, the low humidity, low temperatures feel a little warmer to me, as one of the viewers pointed out this morning. And it's true. So I may just go ahead and go. I don't have any... I thought about that this morning when I was out walking. Why wouldn't you go ahead and go? And of course, I'm always saying to myself, well, you want the weather to be comfortable so you can enjoy your camping without having to worry about air conditioner. Well, you won't have to worry about an air conditioner now. You're going to have to worry about a heater. And that's not a big problem, but we'll see. It's the hardest part of the trip is getting out of Texas. That's a fact. It's 400 miles one way just to get to the New Mexico border. And that's 2 days for me. I'm going to go stay one night in Irahan, Texas. I called Pecos Chamber of Commerce. They're the ones that handle that park in Irahan. They used to have free hookups there, 20 amp. And yeah, if you pulled in there and there wasn't anybody there, you just hooked up and stayed. You were only supposed to stay one night, but it was still free. And it's still free today. The girl said, yeah, you can pull in there and stay overnight, not a problem. I said, well, she said she's in an office where the deputies come in and out, and she said she'd remind them that, you know, people could camp there overnight because, see, you know, like the guy mentioned in the comments this morning, he's retired law enforcement after 30 years, and he said, you know, some guys let the little bit of power go to their head because they do have a lot of power, you know, and it does go to a young man or young woman's head to be out there on the road and know that you could legally kill somebody. Yep, but here we go, guys. I'm rambling on here. I've covered 14 topics, haven't I? Whenever I'm on the road and driving like this, I'm just going to call those videos me and my arrow, and that'll make that easier, you know. Me and my arrow, straight up and narrow. Yeah, I like that. That just flows real good, and I like the whole story of the point, the city of Point, where everybody had a point, and then they banished the kid to the pointless forest, but everything in the forest had a point, and he didn't understand the point. And so it's a mess, but you got to watch it. It was made for children. Believe me, there's a lot there for parents or grown-ups. A lot of stuff there. A lot of good music. I said that this morning. I'll probably say it a few more times. But I'm rambling on here, guys. I'm going to let it go till I get to my H-E-B grocery store. Why? Because it's too hard to try to shut it off while I'm driving. And maybe one or two of y'all will hang on and listen to me. I mean, I don't know why you do, but you do, and I'm glad. And for those of you that use the Amazon link, bless your hearts, I certainly appreciate that. That helps. Yeah, because it does help, because that allows me not only to go traveling, but then I can save a little money, and I can get my home area redone with the concrete pad under the RV cover. Yeah, that would be a blessing, because getting rid of those steps which are worn out, and those old, that deck is gone, man. And I'm always afraid I'm going to step on one of the boards on the deck and my foot's going to go through and I'm going to sever a major artery or something. But we'll take care of that soon. Well, not real soon, probably October. In that time frame, it costs about you could, on the high side, because they're going to have to remove the deck and haul all that old wood off. That is part of the deal. So it's usually $7 a square foot for patio and stuff like that. So with them hauling the deck off, I'm going to say $8 a square foot. So we're looking at about 500 square feet. So it'd be around $4,000 to get it done, and I'll just have to do it. I'll either have to borrow a little bit from the bank if I don't have that much cash, or whatever it takes. But I want to get that done this year. That's on my bucket list, I guess you'd say. But we're in good shape, man. The RV, I really like the way it tows, and I really am pleased with the fact that the stuff inside of that little old 16-foot single-axle RV stays in place. I mean, that is just so wonderful. I mean, it's I didn't have anything on the floor when I opened the RV door. That's good. And also but I forgot one thing. I usually put a pillow in the refrigerator and then close it and put my little wire to hold the door shut. I forgot to put the pillow in, so when I opened the door of the refrigerator, there were some things that fell out on the floor. But that was the only thing. But all the doors stayed shut. Nothing bounced out on the bed or whatever. And that's a pleasure, because when I was pulling that other travel trailer, or any of my other travel trailers, I almost hated to open the door when I got to my campsite, because I knew that something had probably gone wrong. And most of the time it had. I mean, I'd forget something, and it's easy to forget, stuff like that. Forget to secure it. I mean, I have a checklist, and I always check it before I start, just look it over to remind myself, and then I go do all my stuff and hook up the trailer, And then I go back inside and pick up my list and carefully read each line one at a time. Because if you don't, what I used to do is I'd just glance. I say, well, I did that. Okay, it's done. But now, since I'm getting older, I'm getting smarter, I read every line. You'd be surprised what you'll forget. It is easy peasy. Here we are, the new HEB in Marble Falls, Texas, guys. But I'm going to go to the old parking lot, which is a whole lot easier to get around in. I don't mind walking a little bit. It ain't going to hurt me, for sure. Ain't going to be a blinking yellow, and then it's going to turn something red, I guess. Well, it hadn't done anything yet. Okay, here we are at HEB, guys. I'm excited. Glad to be back in the area. Got to go get me some groceries. And that's something else you run into when you're traveling, is there's certain products or certain things that you buy routinely when you go to the grocery store. And your expectations are, as you're traveling, that you're going to be able to find most of those products while you're out on the road. And the reality is, you may not. I just pull around like this so that I can just make an easy exit. Anyway, guys, from Central Texas, USA, this is Rusty78609 saying, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye, anything your little heart desires. But if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products in the description of my videos. I'd sincerely appreciate it. I'm an Amazon affiliate. I get a small commission. It doesn't cost you any more to use the link. And but, if it's, I understand. But if you're going to buy something from Amazon anyway, and you think about it, I appreciate it. What else? Drink plenty of water. 3 or 4 quarts a day won't hurt you. Good for you. Help you avoid gout, kidney stones, and it'll help you lose weight because you'll be full of water. Okay? And what else? Take deep breaths. Breathe in deeply, hold it a few seconds, and then breathe out slowly. Why? Because that relieves stress, and relieving stress lowers your blood pressure, and that's good for you, I guarantee you. And what else? Stretch, walk, do whatever it takes to keep your body in motion and keep your health. And what else? Stand guard at the door of your mind, because what you let in are ingredients. So don't let negative Nancy or negative Ned get inside of your head. Okay? If the talking heads on TV are blabbing about something that's stirring you up, turn them off, man. They're not paying you to listen to them. Actually, they're getting paid because you're listening. But anyway, having said that, enjoy life, guys. We're going to go traveling here real soon, and I feel pretty good about it. Anyway, adios, guys. Bye-bye.